Thanks very much. Technically challenged indeed. I might just start off with just explaining McLaren Minerals. We acquired the Mineral Sands project in August last year, and we changed the name of Allup Silica to McLaren Minerals. A lot of people have asked me where the motivation for McLaren came from. Is it the racing car? Is it the magnificent red wine region in South Australia? And I have to tell them and let them down and say, no, it was the name of the project. But I am happy to talk about red wine. I'm happy to talk about racing cars. So it's a good name for us. Disclaimer, of course, a fact of life. In every presentation, I'll let you read that at your leisure. Plenty of fine print there for you. So starting off just with a corporate snapshot, cash there was about 689. We've added another 500 to that, so we're sitting about 1.1 million today. Still a very tight register. And moving right down to the bottom, share price about 3.5 cents and market cap of about $5 million. So that's what we call in this game as a buying opportunity, extremely cheap, and hopefully you agree with me by the end of the presentation. So we've started to change the board at McLaren to put a team together that will support the project and build the project. Peter Secker and I joined the board back in August last year. Peter and I have worked together before. My job really is to build mines. That's what I've done for 20 years. I did a big mineral sands project in the middle of Australia in the Murray Basin, now owned by Tronox. I built a very significant mineral sands project on the west coast of Africa in Senegal back in 2014. And then I was lucky enough to work for Metro, and we built the bauxite mineral sands project in Cape York. So they're all good projects. They're all still operating today. And I guess I don't take on projects that I don't think can work. I don't take on projects that I don't think will make money. And I certainly don't take on projects that I think are going to be too hard. And this project is, in a very relative terms, a very easy project, we think, to develop. Let's not forget, we announced this week that Michael Arnett, who is the chairman of NRW, a significant Western Australian earth-moving and diversified business, joined our board as chair this week. So we're starting to build the right sort of a level of people that will assist us to get this project into operations. So here we are, new core focus, moving away from silica sand into mineral sands. This project is an ilmenite project, but a very, very significant resource, 280 million tonnes of indicated and inferred at 4.8% heavy mineral. And ilmenite, I'll talk about the market a little bit later, but it really is a key in a growing world, construction, medical, paint, etc., etc. It's one of the keys to the growing world, as I said. So new leadership team. I've come in to provide some guidance around construction and pre-feasibility and feasibility, and the rest of the team will support me. It's a very well placed now and in good structure, and we believe we're in the right position timing-wise to capitalise on the pigment market, which I talk about later, particularly in China. So here's the project itself. You can see it is about 300 kilometres as the crow flies north of Esperance. It's 350 k's by road to the port of Esperance from the project itself. I know this because I drove it on Sunday. We have 280 million tonnes, you can see, in that southern tenement. We are doing drilling right now to improve our confidence in the resource. We want to increase the indicated portion of the resource to 200 million tonnes from the current 80 million tonnes. And that just gives us very simple mathematics again, and we'll continue the simple theme as we go through, but 20 years at 10 million tonnes a year. So that's just a very straightforward, nice long mine life. Gives us a good capacity to attract a significant offtake partner. It's enough volume to attract good haulage partners, and the Port of Esperance obviously now has some capacity given the iron ore no longer flows through Esperance. So this is on the air highway, 40 k's from Balladonia. So our guys right now that are drilling out there head to Balladonia every night for a nice steak and a cold drink and a comfortable bed, and that, I can tell you, is much easier than we used to do in the old days when we were dragging caravans around the middle of Australia. Talking a little bit about the mineral suite, this, as I said, this is an ilmenite project. We don't really have any of the sexy rutile zircons that have been previously spoken about, but what that leads to is a very simplistic flow sheet. So we'll have hydrocyclones, we'll have a thickener, we'll have spirals, and then we'll have some magnets. So very straightforward. And then two poles of concentrate, a magnetic concentrate and a non-magnetic concentrate, which are both very marketable in today's market. A little bit more about the resource. As I said, 280 million tonnes. The inferred portion is in that light green area, and the plant design will currently, will site the plant right next to that indicated area. We think we'll start in that part of the world, so obviously starting off at 6% rather than the average of 4.8% makes sense for everybody. That's where we'll focus the infill drilling, increasing the indicated resource. We're going to drill some holes to the north and to the south just to see whether there are any extensions of this ore body. It is a very significant, basically a big lump of sand, virtually no overburden, average perhaps half a metre, and then the ore body itself is between 10 and 35 metres thick. So again, this does align it with a very low-cost mining method, dozer traps, one dozer trap, a couple of D11 dozers, pushing into the dozer trap, slurry it up, send it to the plant, and then you pump all the tails back to the void, flock it, and then you put it straight back into the void. So it's a very, very straightforward process. So the development strategy, we're in the pre-feasibility study now. As I said, drilling's underway. Part of that will develop a metallurgical sample, and that will validate our flow sheet, and we'll be able to do more test work. And the other thing we want to get out of that process is a good specification for our finished product and some samples, so I can then poke them in my tote bag and head off to the market and try and sell those to consumers either in China or the Middle East. What people I think don't understand is sulfate ilmenite now is very much in demand, not just because of the growing TiO2 market, but because there's various smelters coming online. Sulfate ilmenite is a prominent feed for those smelters. They can tap off the iron, then they tap off the slag, which is called chloride slag, and that then goes into the chloride ilmenite pigment market. So it's a very good product for that point of view. So as I said, 20 years, 10 million tonnes a year, and the output's about 400,000 tonnes of concentrate. What that means is about 11 trucks a day on the road between the mine and the Esperance port. So it's all very, very straightforward. A bit of an update on where we're at and where we've been. Obviously, we acquired the project in August. We transferred all the tenements and did a new heritage agreement, did some heritage work, cleared the drilling. We started drilling, raised a bit of money, so we put about $1.5 million in the bank to pay for this pre-feasibility. And look, they're the things that'll come out of this work, and we're anticipating in Q2, updating the mineral resource, finishing the engineering, getting a capital cost, operational cost, and then all going well, we'll commence a bankable study. And we think this project, because there's already been a lot of work done, because we're doing a very high level pre-fees, the bankable, we think we'll do that in between 12 and 14 months. And then as part of that will be the financing process. So we think we can fast track this project. All going well, we'll be in business around about the end of 2027. So TiO2 and ilmenite. I won't read this because it's probably boring, but it is a growing market. Has been growing now for the last 10 or 15 years very strongly. All the different uses, but the prominent uses are in paint and in plastics. And so pigment is just used to make things white, and you can stick colour to white. So that's why it's good in paints. It's inert, and it's obviously good for making metal to replace people's hips when they get a bit tired. Here's a few pretty charts on the market and the price. You can see that growth since 2016 only goes to 2023, but that's just a very continued progress on the pigment production in China. You can see ilmenite pricing on the right-hand side, and you can see again very, very strong growth. So sulfate ilmenite at the moment around about US $300 a tonne. When I was working in Africa, we were selling our ilmenite for about $75 a tonne. So you can see how projects like this start to come into their own. If it was $75 a tonne, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't have this project, and I wouldn't be talking to you. So just a quick summary, very good position in the market from an ilmenite perspective, great resource, bulk tonnes, simple to mine, clear development path, got the team in place now to deliver it, and we think we're a growing company, and the $5 million market cap, it should be on everyone's little list to have a look. Thanks very much.